Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Thursday, July 18th, and we are here trying to help you make better financial decisions. If you've got something that's percolating in your life, in your real life, and it somehow touches money in some even slight way, we'd love to hear from you. Just go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and let us know if you would be willing to come on the air live with us. Now, I love having you on the air, but I also want to be clear that we know that there are many shy people, that you're never going to come on the air. And that is why we do email episodes. And, with apologies to my friend Martine, who really likes to hear the people's voices. I know, Martine, I love it too, but a lot of times people just need some help. So let's do some emails for today. And let's start with someone who the subject is, husband passed away. Should I pay off my mortgage? This is from Kay, who's 64 years old. My husband passed away earlier this year. I got a life insurance payout of $200,000. I was able to pay off some debt of about $24,000 and also fund an emergency reserve of $36,000. Okay, so now she goes on to write, I know I shouldn't do anything drastic for a year. That is totally true. So I went to see a financial advisor. I wanted to pay off my mortgage balance, which is $113,000 at 6.5%. Now, the advisors said it would be better not to pay off the mortgage, but to invest it. So she moved the balance of her Fidelity account, which I guess along with this other money was about $120,000. She fully funded a 2023 Roth IRA for last year and this year. That's good. 20 grand into a 6-month CD because she was nervous. And the remaining balance was put into an account invested in ETFs and mutual funds. The advisor charges a 1% fee. I like her and she listens to what I want and involves me in the decision making. I'm still working full time. I've got a 401k and a Roth 401k. I contribute up to the 5% match for the 401k, 22% to the Roth. Current balance, $380,000 or so. I have it managed. They charge a fee as well. I feel like I'm paying a lot of fees between the brokerage firm and my work plan. I make $69,000 before taxes. I currently receive small pensions from my husband's work, $24.52 a month, plus another $250 when I turn 65. That's next year. She ends up making about $27.50 a month for as long as she lives. She's going to work another few years and will take Social Security at age 70, which would be about $2,800. With that amount that I bring home after all taxes deductions, I have a net of around $4,700. My mortgage is $1,643. My monthly expenses are $3,500. My mortgage takes up a good portion of my monthly expenses. If it were paid off, I feel like I could have the option to retire sooner than 67 if needed. Plus, if I didn't have the payment, I would have more to invest and fully fund the 401k and the Roth 401k. Should I take what is now in the brokerage firm to pay off my mortgage, since I know it is probably not earning 6.5% or higher, or use the 20 grand from the CD when it matures and then pay $1,000 extra every month on the principal to pay it down sooner? I cannot retire until my mortgage is paid off. I would at least like to have the option to retire at 65 and beyond. I love my job. I'm going to work as long as I can. I value your opinion and waiting on your response. I think she's got $113,000 left and it's 6.5%. It's not a small amount. And she's 64 years old. So what I'm hearing in this is emotionally, I've just been through a lot and I really would like to have that mortgage paid off. We're playing a little bit of balance sheet gymnastics with this, because I think the reason that the advisor did not want you to pay off the mortgage is that not just that maybe she wanted to invest the money, which maybe she did, maybe she didn't, but also there is a point that you don't have a lot of liquidity. You don't have a lot of money that is available to you that is not in a retirement account. Again, you have like almost $400,000 in the retirement account. I guess the question is that the 6-month CD is coming due. Okay. Now just think about the math on this. 5% in a CD versus 6.5% on the mortgage. Okay. That's the easy one. That is the one where I'm like, okay, as soon as that comes due, definitely pay down the mortgage with that. Then what I think I might do is if you feel like you can talk to your advisor about this and you can say, look, I don't know if we're really going to earn 6.5% net based on the way that I'm investing. And maybe I just would feel more comfortable if I could take a big chunk out of this mortgage. And maybe what you do is you look at the investments that you have, and maybe, towards the end of this year, when you're thinking about rebalancing this account, maybe you look at this at the ETFs and the mutual funds, and you see if there's some chunk of money that you could use to help pay down the mortgage. So in other words, what I'm thinking is this. Let's just presume that you have $100,000 invested with her and you have $20,000 in a CD that's coming due. Could you say to her, I want to take of the money that's invested with you, I want to take $30,000 in a tax efficient way, pull it out, pay down the mortgage, and now you have half as much in the mortgage. And then you could, if you wanted to, make some extra payments on the mortgage, but then it seems like a more reasonable amount. And it does not sound to me like you're going to have a real big problem. Monthly expenses of $3,500, you're going to be fine and you're going to continue to work. I actually think you probably could retire before age 67 if you wanted to. But all that being said, it seems also that if you love it and you're going to work as long as you can, what I would say is I may not pull all of the money out of that account, but maybe take a chunk plus the CD, pay down that mortgage, and I think you'll feel better because of that. I really do.
Also, she's only making $69,000. She's contributing 27% of her pay into retirement accounts. Like release some pressure. You don't have to put so much money in.
Yeah, maybe just put in up to the match even, and then use your extra cash flow, and you can pay down the mortgage and keep having some money added to your safe money. Okay. All right, this could be an easy one, Mark. This is from Jerry, wants to retire next year. And you ready for Jerry's? Let me just go to the actual fun part. Total assets, $3.3 million. There's a house that's worth $550 with a $300,000 mortgage with 2.75% interest rate. Let's add their total expenses, including the mortgage, are around $7,000 a month. Okay. At Social Security full retirement age for the two of them. I'm trying to see how old they are. I'm not sure where they are. How old are they? At 67, they'll have about $6,300 a month in Social Security. Our biggest concern is health insurance between now and 65. I don't know what now is, but they're not even 59 and a half. I can tell you that because it says, we plan to use brokerage accounts and cash as needed for living expenses to keep our AGI low until we turn 59 and a half. Then we'll draw some money from the 401k, do Roth conversions since we have a healthy brokerage account. They have so much money that I don't even know why he's asking. They have brokerage account money of $1.1 million. You didn't tell us how old you are. What's the question here? The question is, we think we can live comfortably on $9,000 a month, which would include healthcare premiums also, and Medicare and vacations. They make $275. Can you retire in 2025? I wish you would tell me how old you are. It seems like kind of a no-brainer. They've got plenty of money, and I like the idea of I wouldn't do conversions. Everybody calm down with your conversions. I with all due respect to Ed Slott, just pull money out of your retirement account and pay the tax that's due. That's one way to really reduce your required minimum distributions. But I'm not sure, you don't have to be so focused on a conversion because, when you have this, you got $1.1 million in brokerage account assets. I don't know. I don't know if I want to soak that up. Let's talk about capital gains. This is from Lindsay, who lives in Southern California. House has gone up. Listen to this. House has gone up in value by $1 million since they bought it 5 years ago. Wow. Okay. I know that we don't have to pay capital gains for the first $500,000 of gain. Okay. So then the question is, what does it all mean in terms of what we have to put into a new house? Nothing. Nothing. It used to be that you had to take some amount of money and you could sort of defray your tax situation by pushing it into a new house. That does not happen anymore. So here's how it goes. You ready? Let's just say they can sell their house for $2.2 million. Okay. and the original price they paid was 1.1 million. All right. So they have $1.1 million in gain. The way it works is of that 1.1, 500,000 gets lopped off. You have a gain of 600,000. You then have to add in to your cost basis any money you spent on the house that is like a structural improvement. So let's pretend you bought the house for 1.1 million, right? I don't know, maybe you didn't even put that much into it. Let's say that you put in $100,000. It's not even that much, but let's just say, and I'm saying like a brand new kitchen, you added a bathroom, whatever, right? So in that case, it would be as if you would have instead of a $1.1 million gain, you'd have $1 million gain. The point here is that we want to try to raise the cost basis to reflect what you've added into the house. So of the $1 million, you have a gain, a capital gains of 500,000. You don't have to put a certain amount in a new house. There's nothing that has to happen. The 500,000 that is excluded is always excluded. You pay the capital gains on whatever the sale of the house is, and your net proceeds can be spent any way you want. You could be a renter for the rest of your life. You don't have anything else that has to happen. Just know that the way the capital gains is calculated is the purchase price plus any structural improvements you've made to the house. That's your cost basis. You sell the house, you now have your adjusted cost basis. There's the gain. From the gain, the first 500,000 for couples is excluded. Okay. Mandy writes, "Hi, Jill. I've been a longtime listener and big fan of your show. My husband and I are doing well financially. He is in his mid-40s. I am in my late 30s. We have 2 kids who are 10 and 7. We've always maxed out our 401k and HSA contributions since we started working. We started 529 plans a couple of years ago when my kids were born. We spent moderately and could keep nearly 40% of our income as savings. Oh my God. Until recently, we've had no issue with money. My husband and his family members have muscular dystrophy. That's not good. People with this condition gradually lose muscle functions, suffer falls, have difficulty sitting, walking, getting up. And we witnessed my father-in-law pass away because of muscular dystrophy 3 years ago. I'm wondering if he might need personal care in roughly 15 years. What kind of long-term care insurance could we buy right now? I don't think you could. If he has this condition or it's in his family, I have a feeling that you would probably not be able to get him long-term care insurance. The other question you asked, is there anything else we can do now to be prepared for later when he could potentially lose mobility and I would need a helping hand to take care of him? I think that you'd want to talk to somebody who actually could walk you through what your options are. There are some annuity products that have a long-term care rider, and this may be the kind of thing that you should be looking into. I also think it would be really helpful for you to have an objective opinion about this, someone who is a fee-only financial planner who can walk you through what options lie ahead and look at the money you have. Maybe you've saved a ton of money and that's enough. But I think there are some of these specialty products that you may want to look into. Okay, this is from Rick, who says, I have a question about where to access funds for my retirement. We are technically not retired, but we are now working in lower paying, more flexible jobs. I am 65. My wife is 63. We live in Maine. We earn about $125,000 a year. Our spending is about $200,000 a year, 175 to 200. Brokerage accounts are yielding about 1.5% or 45 grand in income. So now you see it sort of matches up. To fund the shortfall, I have been selling investments in our brokerage accounts, but we are now at a point where the bulk of the remaining securities are highly appreciated. They've owned a lot of big stocks over the last 15 years, and that would trigger a significant tax liability. They've got 3 grown, fully launched kids and would rather that they one day inherit these securities and get the step up in cost basis. Okay. Now, on the retirement side, They've got $2.1 million. 600,000 is Roth. The remaining 1.5 million pre-tax. Would we be better off starting to draw down the pre-tax accounts versus selling the highly appreciated post-tax securities? Or should we do a mix? They're going to wait till 70 to start their Social Security retirement benefits. And they're going to be working on this issue basically for the next 5 to 7 years. I know the tax rates are lower for capital gains than IRA distributions, but I hear your constant warnings about higher RMDs and potentially higher taxes down the line. I know we're fine overall. It's a good problem to have. I'd appreciate your thoughts. Well, you know what? You are going to have RMDs. And if you want to leave those Roth assets, especially to your kids, or maybe even the brokerage account assets, it's kind of a push. I think I'd start pulling money out of the retirement accounts to fund this and start the process of reducing your future RMDs. What do you think, Mark?
I'm with you. That seems to be our common, it's become more and more of a common response for us. Just start pulling out.
I mean, it's not that big a deal to do this, but I really think that it's important to think about this. All right. This is our last question. This is from Rocky, who says, a year ago, I was on your podcast. We discussed some big trips my wife and I had on the horizon and some concerns about the best way to fund them to make sure that we were still okay with retirement. The show was entitled Decumulation to Fund Travel. At the end of the episode, you asked me to send along an update and some pictures from our travels. Here we go. Over the past 40 days, we've traveled to, ready for this, gang? Iceland, Norway, Belgium, England, France, Scotland, and Ireland. It has been a remarkable trip. As difficult as it is to pick a particular highlight, for sure the most meaningful part of the journey was our 4 days in Normandy during the D-Day 80 ceremonies. Oh my God. I'm sharing a few photos along with this note. Thanks for helping to reassure us that our financial plan works for the amazing journeys like this. Can I just tell you guys, first of all, these are incredible photos. We see them in some sort of ice water thingy in Iceland. There's a waterfall with a rainbow behind them. There's a picture of these amazing falls. We have I see Paris, which is good because I do notice an Eiffel Tower. I don't know where this is from. Maybe
that's a flyover for Normandy.
There's a flyover for Normandy. There's also them at Omaha Beach. I could cry looking at this. It is
Mont Saint Michel.
I believe we have Wimbledon. Yes. We have Stonehenge. Yes. We have, oh my God,
the Cliffs of Moher.
King Charles. Hello. King Charles in Ireland. These are unbelievable. Belfast.
Blarney Stone.
Amazing. So congratulations, Rocky. And I'm so glad. That's just so much fun. And I love that so much. So thank you for sharing that with us and everybody in the audience listening. If you're doing fun things, send us pictures. We'd love to see what's happening. And go to Normandy, everybody. Go to see living history and what that is like. Right, Mark?
Absolutely.
Hey, gang, thanks so much for listening. If you've got a question, give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. Let us know if you would like to join us on the air. Don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Check out all the cool stuff on our website. And subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Share us with people. That's how people discover the show. It's so much fun. And of course, please lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.